Hello friends, Legal Breeze welcomes you all for yet another discussion on a topic relating to powers and functions of the Chief Justice of India, namely the Master of Roster system and its constitutional validity. Please remember, there are many powers and functions to be performed by the Chief Justice of India, but it is not done by him or carried out by him or performed by him on his own independently. Generally, it is done collectively by him. Many a times, it is done in the name of the president, or president does it after consulting the CJI along with the senior judges, what we call it as a judicial collegium or judges collegium, whatever you may call it. Some people call it as a Supreme Court collegium. Say, when transferring the judges, appointing the High Court judges, appointing the Chief Justice of the High Court, all these things are done by the President after consulting not only the Chief Justice but the senior most judges who are the members of the collegium system. The Chief Justice of India acts as an administrative head as well as a judicial head. But please remember, Chief Justice of India is one among the judges, and judicially speaking, he is neither superior nor inferior to other judges. This we should keep in mind. But why are we talking about this Master of Roster system? What is its constitutional validity? This is an age-old practice. To the best of my knowledge, this is not at all regulated by the Constitution. Constitution doesn't speak about explicitly, including in Article 147, which speaks about the rule-making power of the Supreme Court. Then how this power is being exercised by the CJI? That is a question. Now CJI, if you go by Amartya Sen version, the institutional virtuosity and individual virtuosity should go hand in hand. No doubt Supreme Court has had great reputation. As an institution, we all respect it. But sometimes even the Chief Justice of India is also an institution. That institution is also highly respected. But sometimes, as stated by Sri Amartya Sen, some person who is not of high virtue occupy this position, then they bring bad name to this institution. This is a very unfortunate one. When CJI colludes with the executive, it may bring disastrous results. This can be equated something like double veto, what is being practiced, an unlawful practice being done in the Security Council. First, CJI will decide which case will be decided by whom, or what is the Master of Roster system. This is a function performed by the CJI, that allocating the cases to the respective benches. Now first he decides which case should be decided by whom. This itself is a power. He exercises it on his own arbitrarily. Thereafter, either he himself takes the case, then he deciding judicially in his favor. Now this is also double veto. Sometimes what happens, he allows the case to someone else, but believes that this particular judge can decide the case in this way. For example, we all know Krishna Iyer is a pro-human rights personality. He is against the death sentence. Okay, and he is very pro-laborer. He is a socialist. So naturally, when these sort of cases are going before the judges, that sort of judges, naturally you will get that sort of judgment. Even in the present context, people know Justice Chandrachud, Dhananjaya Chandrachud ji. He is very liberalist. Since he has got education in US and other countries, he is a topper almost in all his educational career is concerned. He is very liberalistic oriented, and he is very pro women, pro differently abled, pro transgender. You can call him like anything. It doesn't mean that he is not otherwise. He is very neutral, but this is how society perceives because of his liberal views. For him, constitutionalism is very important than the mere constitution. You can listen to his lecture many a times. He says why constitution matters a lot. A famous lecture given by him in the Bombay Bar Association. or Maharashtra High Court, whatever you may call it. And this system, why it is being suddenly spoken of? This also you may ask it. So either way, he decides which case has to go to which bench, and he knows that bench will decide in that manner. Thereby, he can create end result with the help of the this power, the master of roses system, and judicially also sometimes. But judicially you cannot attribute it, because judicially other judges need not to listen to him. CJI in any way not at all superior to any other judges, to the puissant judges in the judicial capacity. Otherwise you cannot have dissenting opinion. So please listen to all these things. And please, you may also, I would like to advise you to listen one more interview or lecture given by Justice Chellameshwarji. He is very vocal and critical against this collegium system. He calls this collegium meeting as a coffee table meeting. He clearly points out undemocratic practices carried on by the then CJIs in the name of collegium. So it's the right time for the parliament to intervene to correct it. You have conflicting judgment about this particular functioning of the Master of Roses system is concerned. One case law is known as Ashok Pandey versus Union of India. In this case, the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the CJI. Another case is known as Shanti Bhushan versus Union of India. In this case, the Honorable Supreme Court has ruled against the CJI institution. We will always have this debate. Once upon a time, we had such a debate called this appointment of arbitrator under the Arbitration Act 1996 is an administrative power or judicial power. Conflicting opinions have come, but later on it was settled by a constitutional bench. So Supreme Court may also constitute a constitutional bench and decide this case. But when the CJI himself happens to be a beneficiary, who will build the cat? That's a $1 billion question. Doesn't mean that the future CJI will also look like this. So we hope, if not now, maybe sometimes later, the Honorable Supreme Court itself will do the necessary things to make the constitutionalize or to democratize the Master of Roaster system. Because instead of it is being performed by one particular individual, if it is done by a group of individuals, there can be transparency, accountability, and rule of law shall prevail. That will promote the true letter of the Constitution, the true access to justice, not only by quantitatively but qualitatively. We hope God gives us such a day very sooner rather than later. I thank every one of you for patient listening. I am also heartfully thanking all our students who are contributing in this video making process is concerned. All the very best to all of you. God bless you all. Jai Hind.